Engineer from California and wrote a really exciting book called Civil Terror Gridlock. We're going to find out all about that coming up. We've got some breaking news and a new series we're starting called No, You're Wrong.
No, you're wrong.
No, You're Wrong.
No, you're wrong.
Well, that's where my dad and I have a big discussion.
Yes, argument.
We're going to call it an argument, I think, about the car behind us. It's the new BMW 640 Gran Turismo. And we also have a very exciting giveaway at the very end of this program, so stay tuned and stay excited.
Yeah, we're going to give away one of these hats, guys. We're always giving away hats, so if you wait till the end of the show and you can answer a BMW trivia question, you're going to win a hat.
That's coming up next.
All right,
Wait.
Oh yeah, we gotta wait.
And there it is.
All right, first of all, for you guys who've been wondering where Tommy's been, because of course he hasn't been on the show for a while, Tommy just got back from sailing around the world, dude. He did a thing called Semester at Sea. He's wearing that on his head.
I did, yeah. So it was a 3.5-month study abroad with 0 cars whatsoever. So I'm glad to be back in the saddle here.
Yeah, he's back, and he's going to be doing a lot of Jeep stuff, and actually that's part of the news today. So let's get right to it. The most important news I think we start with is the fact that we need to do News Open, right? News Open. Oh, no, I was thinking about, actually, that's right. So the news Open is going to be used next time. So let's talk about the news. As you recall, Tommy, about a year ago I went to Detroit where GM unveiled the Tahoe RST. And the Tahoe RST is the 6.2-liter version of a Tahoe, and we've never had actually a 6.2-liter in a Tahoe before. Well, today, almost exactly a year later, Chevy unveiled this, and that is the Suburban RST. 420 horsepower, 460 pound-foot of torque, now available in a Suburban RST. What does RST stand for?
Rally Sport Truck.
That's right, Rally Sport Truck. And the truck also comes with these 22s, big Brembo 16.1 inches. And we just actually uploaded a story to TFL Truck talking about this new Suburban that was just unveiled, I'm going to say like 2 hours ago. So if you guys want to get more information, just go over to TFL Truck and check out all the information. It will be available later this summer. That's what Chevy's saying.
Yeah, this is a really exciting truck. You know, before, if you wanted that big 6.2 in your full-size GM truck, you had to go all the way up to a Yukon. The Suburban only had that 5.3. But now with this, you can get that Suburban with that big old 6.2, and you get the long wheelbase when compared to the Tahoe.
Now, as you guys know, Tommy, of course, is our Jeep guy, and there is some mind-blowing Jeep news, and that is, are you aware that the Jeep Wrangler actually outsold the Honda Accord last month? They sold more Wranglers than Accords. Sedans are dead, dude.
That's just incredible. So the Jeep Wrangler is new for 2018. It's called the JL. The previous one was the JK. And they've sold about 27,800 units this year compared to the new Accord, which sold over 21,000 units. So we've seen more Jeep Wranglers sold this year than the Honda Accord. We're talking about a body-on-frame, solid axle, off-road convertible is selling more currently than the Honda Accord.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you know, there's this huge trend from people to go from sedans to crossovers, and any kind of vehicle with a lot of personality like the Wrangler is just red hot. It's got a huge resale value, and to sell more Wranglers than Accords is mind-blowing. Of course, that may be an aberration because it's only been 1 month for these numbers, but I think it's a trend.
Well, keep in mind too, the current Wrangler we've seen has had the 3.6 Pentastar. The 2-liter is just rolling out now. We're starting to see our first 2-liter Wranglers on the lots, and we haven't even seen the new diesel Wrangler yet. So there's still that diesel engine coming, and can't forget about the JT, the Jeep truck. So can't wait to see what those sales numbers do going forward.
Just to clarify, Wrangler sales were April last month.
Oh, April. Wow, 27,829 in April.
Yeah. Now, another big story that just hit yesterday is the fact that Herr Professor Martin Winterkorn, hopefully I'm saying that right, he's right there, the former CEO of Volkswagen was indicted, Tommy, on basically the Dieselgate scandal where Volkswagen took diesel engines and inserted cheat code so that when the vehicles were being tested, they ran clean, and when they were on the road, they ran dirty. So he got indicted in America I don't think he'll be coming to America anytime soon.
That's you've met him before, haven't you?
Yeah, can I tell you my story?
Yeah, let's hear your story.
So I was actually at the reveal of the Jetta, not the current one, but the previous one, and it was this big deal in San Francisco. And I was talking to Professor Dr. Winterkorn, and I'm like, how long are you in America? And he's like, oh, I'll be out here just for 1 day. And I'm like, is it hard to come to America for 1 day? And he goes, oh, no, 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 we have our own Airbus. So VW had their own Airbus. He flew in on the Airbus, and he's like, yeah, we're going to be flying to Chattanooga where they have their plant, and then we fly back home. So the board of VW basically has their own Airbus, flies around the world. I don't think he'll be flying to America very soon. That's my guess.
You know, we were just, doing the classic car guy thing where you're out online looking for new cars, local dealerships, seeing what kind of deals you can find. And we actually went on to a local VW dealership here in Denver, and we found a set of brand new 2016 Volkswagen Touareg Tdis.
Which they couldn't sell for a long time.
Yeah, they couldn't sell, and they recently just got approval to start selling those again at this dealership.
Yeah.
So 3-liter, brand new.
Yeah, how much were they? Like 6,000 under sticker?
They were more than that. It was like
8,000
under sticker. Yeah, for those 3-liter TDIs.
So if you've been jonesing for a Touareg TDI 3-liter, this might be the time to get it because I think they've been fixed and now they can be sold.
Yeah, if you don't mind it being a little dusty from sitting on the lot for 3 years.
All right, dude. Well, I'm super excited. Let's switch over to Jason to meet our guest. Jason has written a new book, which is called Civil Terror Gridlock. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Hey, how we doing today, guys?
We're doing great. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on our show. Let's start and talk about your book. Why don't you kind of walk me through the book? Because this book is kind of a car guy and car gal's book because not only are you a civil engineer, but you're also now a published fictional author. And let's start by kind of telling me about the book and how you decided to write it.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to. I was stuck in traffic one day on the 210 here in Pasadena, and I was thinking to myself, this is 2014. What in the world are we doing still tolerating traffic like this? And then I started thinking, there's 30 to 40,000 people a year who are killed in car accidents. I've seen the self-driving technology starting to come online. But to truly get a lot of the benefits, we're going to need a network where all the cars are talking to each other. And I thought about writing a paper about that, and I figured nobody would want to read that. That's relatively boring. But if I took that as a core of a plot and I wrapped it up in a thrilling novel where terrorists end up weaponizing the system and the bad guys are being chased by the FBI and the engineers involved somehow, I think that might make for an exciting read. So I went ahead and wrote the book, and here we are.
Yeah, and your hero is kind of a civil engineer, so you've actually made a civil engineer sexy. Not that you're not sexy, yes, but it's not, usually think of like spies.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the books you read these days are about what, doctors, agents, police, firemen, whatever. I couldn't find anything about a civil engineer protagonist, something that was exciting, that glamorized civil engineers. So, I was able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I hope, by putting the civil engineer in the protagonist position and, like you said, making him sexy.
So obviously the book, talks about relevant issues because, let's face it, the connected car is coming, autonomous cars are coming, and your book kind of points out the dangers of that. So as a civil engineer, where do you see the future? Let's kind of go down the road 5-10 years. How do you see our traffic and our infrastructure working as we kind of move into, the next, probably the next chapter in automotive driving or non-driving?
Yeah, exactly. So Google and Cadillac and Tesla, they're all coming out with these new technologies, right? A lot of companies are doing this. They're jumping on the bandwagon, and most of the systems, as I understand it, are relatively proprietary. They don't talk to one another. And in order to really truly get those benefits that for saving those lives every year, 35,000 people a year, and reducing traffic congestion, which causes about $160 billion in lost economic productivity annually just here in the United States. We need that network. So getting everybody to talk, all the different cars to talk to one another so that, if there was an accident or if something did happen or it was a flat tire or something relatively unexpected occurred, all of the vehicles would be able to work together in unison to allow the vehicle, for example, with a flat tire to move off to the side of the road safely. And so that's kind of how I see this happening now. In order to do that, I think the federal government's going to need to step in and put some regulations on. I'm not necessarily in favor of additional regulations, but finding the funding and making this a reality is possible. But we need to put some of our heads together like we did in the 60s when we wanted to put a man on the moon. Let's get some engineers together, mechanical, civil, electrical, computer, some attorneys, some psychologists, sociologists. Let's think about this and move forward into the future with our eyes wide open, instead of just kind of doing willy-nilly, allowing these companies to kind of test on the public. There was a lady killed a couple weeks ago in Phoenix, for example, by a self-driving car. Who's at fault? Is the car company at fault? Is the person behind the wheel at fault? Is it the pedestrian's fault? We need to have these discussions as we move into the future in order to provide a simple, safe, effective system that will work for everybody, that'll be safe and provide all the benefits that we're hoping to get.
You know, I'm talking to Jason over here. That's why I'm looking at my computer. He's on Skype. It's funny, I was just in Europe with Tommy. We were driving on the Autobahn in a Volkswagen Golf that VW lent us. And the car had this feature which I find super annoying here, but super helpful there. And the feature was it would display the speed limit on the navigation system, and it would display it in the center console. And when I see that here, you can also get that here. I just find it like the nanny state telling me don't go over whatever the speed limit is, right? And it's really kind of annoying. But
Sure.
when you're on the Autobahn and you're doing, let's say, 200K, and it goes from 200 to 100K, it's nice to have it right there so that you know.
So you know.
Yeah, so you know. Or if you're on a road and you know, I don't know what the speed limits are necessarily in Europe because they're all different. In Germany, it's unlimited. In Austria, I think it's 130 top. And that tells you, or if you're on a stretch of road where you don't know the speed limit. So in that way, that kind of gentle use of technology is good. But like you said,
Right.
in recently in Arizona, there was an Uber car that killed a woman. Apparently, you guys probably read about this. It was nothing that even the machine or the human could have helped. I mean, she apparently at night just jumped right in front of the car somehow. And there's nothing that machines or people can do to actually prevent that sort of thing. But yeah, you know, you're talking about 35,000 people a year that are dying on our roads. And that is a staggering number. That is just a staggering number.
I would think that our leaders would say, hey, 35,000 people a year getting killed. There's $160 billion we're losing every year in economic productivity. This is something we want to address. It's kind of out in the shadows. The tech companies, you know, your YouTube channel, I'm writing books, other companies are coming out with things, but it hasn't come to the forefront yet. So I'm hoping that this book and you know, these interviews and stuff will help bring awareness so we can have a frank, honest, open discussion about where we're headed as a society, to make sure, like you said, that we can realize these benefits without something tragic happening along the way.
Yeah, and guys, in the comments below, let us know what you think about autonomy and about the connected car. Is it something that terrifies you, or is it something that you're looking forward to? I suspect, Tommy, it depends how old you are, right? If you're old like me, you know, the fact that you may not be driving 20 or 30 years from now is you know, a reality, and getting in a car that will drive you around without having to call you is good. But if you're, you know, if you're young and you've got your whole life ahead of you, maybe the idea that you won't be able to go and actually drive a car on a road outside of, you know, some rural highways scares you.
So I guess one of the questions I have for you is, you know, we've seen big improvements in the levels of autonomy within the automotive industry. Where do you think these improvements are going to show themselves within infrastructure? So in terms of stoplights or connected roads, what do you think the first step is to modernizing our roads and our communities?
Well, like anything else, first step would be to put a team of people together so that we put a plan together. We need a strategy. We need to have some goals, timeframes, money. What are we going to do? I would suspect, to kind of get to your question, we're going to want to put this, we're going to implement this in stages. Just like we're doing here in California with toll lanes. You know, for 40 or 50 years, freeways here in California were basically socialist. Every car had the same value as every other one. Well, now if you're willing to spend 10 or 15 or $20 to avoid traffic congestion to get from point A to point B, we're allowing this to happen. But you have the toll lanes are in the median of the freeway. It's one or two.
Oops. Oh my gosh. Oh, are you there? We lost you.
Traffic.
Okay.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Still there?
Yeah, we're here. We're kind of losing you, Jason. Let's do this. We're
Okay.
yeah, we're kind of at the end of this, and I think we're losing the feed, but I want to promote your book. So if you guys are interested in checking out Jason's book, we're going to do a link to the book in the comments section below, and you can go to Amazon, or you can go to Barnes & Noble, and you can get a copy of Civil Terror Gridlock. You can also get it on audiobook. Hey, you're back. You're kind of back. Is that right? You're going to have an audiobook version of this. It'll be available on Amazon. He's kind of back. Oh, no sound. Anyway, Jason, thank you very much. I think we got what we needed. And like I say, we'll do a link. Check it out. Civil Terror Gridlock, available pretty much everywhere. So thank you very much for taking the time to join us. Yeah, leave him some comments and check out the link below.
All right. Well, thank you again,
All right, Jason.
Jason. So, speaking of modern cars and new infrastructure, let's talk about the new car behind us. So this is the BMW 640. It's the Gran Turismo. And I think we've got a little discussion about this car. This is a new segment we're calling No, You're Wrong.
No, you're wrong, Tommy. We're going to be talking about the fact that once upon a time, BMW had, I would say, basically 3 cars, right? They had a 3 Series, a 5 Series, and a 7 Series.
Yes.
And the last time I counted, they have over 20 models and growing.
Right. So it used to be very simple, right? 3 Series was small. You had the 2-door version of the 3 Series, and you had the 4-door. Then you had the 5 Series, luxury sedan, and then the full top dog 7 Series. And then BMW introduced, we've got the Z model cars, the Z3 and the Z4. Great, sports cars. Starting with the Z1, then you started seeing some M cars, right?
And you're saying there's too many.
And then we started seeing the X cars, and then we saw the Gran Turismo,
Yep.
and then the 3 Series Coupe became the 4 Series.
Yeah.
And then we saw Gran Turismo versions of the 5 Series. And
Yeah,
then,
we get it. There's a lot of
There's a lot of
BMW,
models,
and
yes.
you're saying that there's too many.
yes.
No, I disagree. Look, it's the buyer and the market should be leading the way, right? So if BMW can sell 100 different models because that's where the consumer demand is, that's the free market system, I say let them sell 100 different models. And if that means they're going to start selling everything from 3-wheel trikes to 2-wheel, motorcycles that they do to 1,800 different versions of the BMW, I think that's great. The more the choice, the more choice. I'm always about consumer choice, free market. The more, and if it doesn't sell, then they won't build it.
Well, the thing that confuses me, and I've got actually just happened to have the BMW Configurator on right now.
Okay.
I've got it on right now. So the 5 Series is kind of a coupe, right?
Yeah.
So 5 Series is a sedan,
Yeah.
luxury sedan. Well, it used to be that the 6 Series was the 2-door version of a 5 Series. But now the new 6 Series comes in Gran Coupe and Gran Turismo. And the Gran Coupe is just like another 5 Series. It's another sedan with a different nose and a different tail on
You
it.
just don't know your BMWs well enough. The BMW aficionado knows what this vehicle is and what it does and what it stands for. And it's badass. Look at it. I mean, look at it. It's a 4-door hatchback. How cool is that? So you've got all the practicality of 4 doors, plus you got the hatchback if you want to throw in, your bike or something. What's wrong with that?
Why do you need it though? Why wouldn't you? Would you get this car over a BMW X6? Because essentially the X6 is like a smoothed out, high riding hatchback.
No, I wouldn't, because the X6 is a crossover, and I think crossovers are really popular right now. It's got a little bit more presence, I think. But I could see people who would want that. I could see like families who would use that as a everyday kind of vehicle.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a very pretty car.
It is a pretty car.
Maybe we should talk about the old GT, like the 5 Series. The old Gran Turismo 5 Series had some maybe dislike in the automotive community for the rear end. And this new 6 Series Gran Turismo, it's a very pretty car. But is it different enough than the 6 Series Gran Coupe?
I think the market will tell. So if people don't like it, then it'll become something else. Like you said, I think you just made my point there. You said the GT became the 640 GT, and if people don't buy this, then BMW will take another swing at it and come up with something else.
So let's look at the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Let's look at cars like the X3 and the X4. So, the X6 came out as kind of a fastback version of the X5, and now the X4 is a fastback version of an X3. Do we need that many differentiations in SUV throughout the BMW lineup?
I think you're wrong. I think we do need that many differentiations, because BMW is, like I say, just building what people want. Or, they're trying to build what people want. And let's face it, once upon a time, my generation's tastes were a lot different than your generation, right? So when like my generation or my dad, your grandpa went to buy a car, you basically had the choice of getting a sedan or a station wagon. That was it, right? There were some crazy people who would buy things like Scouts and Jeeps, but for the most part, you'd get a car or a station wagon, or if you were a farmer or needed some kind of trade, then you get a pickup truck. But since then, the entire market has evolved well beyond that. So we're building cars for many different niches. And as a BMW purist, yeah, I would love the days when you can get a 3, 5, and 7 series, but I understand why they're building these cars, because they're building a company and they need to sell more product, and the way you sell more product is you build what people want to buy.
You know what the solution is?
What's the solution?
I think BMW needs to bring the 5 Series wagon to the States.
Yeah, I love that. Obviously, Mercedes has it, Jaguar has it. We just did a video today on TFL Car where Mike reviewed the good, the bad, and the weird of the shooting brake, which is a silly name that the British came up with. But yeah, so we'll leave it up to you guys. Am I right or is Tommy right? Let us know in the comments below. Who's wrong? You are.
I think you're wrong.
We're both a little too stubborn. Well, guys, before we say goodbye, let's give away some hats. We've got some trivia, and once again, the way that this works is we're going to give away, let's give away, what do we want to give away, Tommy? You want to give away a hat, or let's do a shirt?
Let's do a shirt.
We haven't done a shirt in a long time. So we're going to give away, what's CMC Trucks? Is that one of our, yeah?
GMC trucks.
Oh, never mind, GMC, not CMC, it's GMC Trucks. So for all you GMC fans, we're giving away a 2XL. It's a big old shirt. And we're going to give it away using, of course, a trivia question based on the vehicle that's sitting here. So what's the trivia question, Tommy?
Well, let's take a look at the BMW emblem.
Okay.
Right? Do we all know what the BMW emblem looks like?
Yeah, it's a prop.
Yep, it's a...
No?
Is it?
I don't know.
So here we go. Here's our little rondelle. It's BMW circle with a little blue and white insignia in there.
So the trivia question is, what does that represent?
Yeah, so take a look at the shape. Take a look at maybe the colors. What does that mean? What does that represent?
But that's too easy. People know that. So let's ask a second part to that question, and that is, where is this 640i built? Oh, that's a little trickier,
That's a hard one.
That's a much harder one. All right, so guys, if you want to get this GMC shirt, just answer that question. Be the first to do it. Zach, what's the email address they send that to? It doesn't do it any good if you do it in the comments below.
info@tflcar.com.
So that's info@tflcar.com. Be sure to send us your answer, and we'll give away this this really rad T-shirt.
Yeah, let's bring back the book again. I want to do a shout out and a thank you to Jason. Jason wrote a really fun book, so if you're interested in combining a little bit of civil engineering with a sexy civil engineer, go figure that one, huh?
So we've got some discussion in the comment section.
Yeah, what are the people talking about?
Let's see. Some Boney Chuck says it's an airplane propeller.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose reviewer said, Roman just totally spoiled it. But then we've got Offshore Bear says it's something completely different. Maybe represents some kind of colors.
Yeah. So you gotta write us, let us know, because maybe I gave you a hint, or maybe I led you down the wrong path. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Remember, check out Civil Terror Gridlock. It's available at your local bookseller and Amazon, which is probably much easier. There's an audiobook coming if you're like me and you like to listen to books in your car or truck while you're driving. And we're relaunching the show, and we're going to be doing it now 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And tell me, what's going to be the theme of each show?
Well, we've got some really exciting new segments coming. Monday, we're going to work on our top 10s. So We've got some exciting top 10s coming forward. We've got some new fun segments as well. Wednesday's all about trucks. We're going to bring Mr. Truck on here. Andre, we're going to do some Ask Mr. Trucks. And then Friday, we're always going to bring a guest on, or we're always going to try to bring a guest on and do some kind of fun interview. And we've got some other ideas in the pipeline. Maybe some stuff involving the new Forza video games. We want to get you guys involved too. So it's going to be an exciting next couple of months.
Yeah, and we're going to go live. Like me and the boys are going to be at the Overland Expo, so we'll go live from there. Some of the shows will be live. So we're really excited. We've got some great shows lined up, and we hope that you guys let us know in the comments below if you like the show. We're trying to kind of make it a little bit faster paced and trying to basically build the show that you guys want. Well, guys, thanks for joining me and Tommy in sports. Thank you for Jason. Sorry, Jason, that the technical difficulties kind of blew it up, but check out his book. And remember, check out TFLcar.com for more news, views,
and real-world reviews.
And, of course, TFL Truck. That is loud.
It's very loud.